Hey guys, what's happening? Chris here, and I'm going to be going over another gun in Battlefield Hardline. This time I'll be having a closer look at the 338 Recon for the professional class. The 338 Recon in real life is actually called the Desert Tactical Arms SRS, or Stealth Recon Scout. And it's a little bit different to the other snipers as it's one of the only ones to have a bullpup bolt action layout. The weapon came out alongside the Getaway DLC, and it isn't tied down to either the cops or criminals, so you'll be able to add it onto any of your professional loadouts. But first you'll have to have $48,000 saved up to purchase it from that in-game store. Now believe it or not, the 338 Recon actually shares most of its stats with the R700 LTR for the law enforcement faction. And to be honest, there's hardly much difference between the two as far as they both perform out on the battlefield. But I'll go over the gun anyway and note the differences, similarities, and let you know all the pros and cons and other stuff just like in the other guides. So what does the 338 Recon have over the other bolt action snipers? Well, for starters, it deals a high amount of damage, matching both the R700 and AWM, and slightly beating the Scout Elite 300 knockout and AWS. With a maximum damage rate of 100, which then declines over distance after 30 meters, down to its minimum damage of 59 at 100 meters, the weapon is a powerful one to be up against. It doesn't have range as good as the M82, especially with its close range damage dropping off so early, but the Recon does have the ability to kill in one shot to the body at closer ranges, unlike the M82. But once your target reaches a range of 31 meters, you're going to need to make 2 successful hits to take them down, unless it's a headshot of course. Another thing that it does fairly well, and one of the only factors that is different from the R700 LTR, is the fact that it reloads quicker than most of the other bolt action snipers too. The 338 Recon's tactical reload takes 3.2 seconds, which is quicker than the R700 AWM and AWS, putting it on par with the 300 knockout, and the only bolt action rifle that beats this is the Scout Elite. Though as for its longer reload, the Recon only takes about 4.11 seconds. Which might sound like a long time, but it actually beats the Scout Elite here, along with all of the other bolt action snipers too. This is quite handy with the gun only having 6 rounds to use every time you reload, and being able to reload that fraction quicker just might make the difference in a head-to-head sniper showdown. Though sadly, that's about as far as the positives go, and the 338 does quite a few things that could create a few problems for a lot of players, especially those that aren't as sniper friendly. To start off with, the Recon might have a better reload than the R700, but the only other difference between the two weapons is the speed at which they both fire. The R700 LTR has a fire rate of 51, whereas the 338 Recon fires at a slower speed of 39 RPM, which means that the gun fires at the same speed as the AWM. This is really quite slow and means that there's more pressure on you to get those bullets to land on your target, as missing leaves a bigger window of opportunity for an enemy to blast you away. And if you have a battle with another sniper using an R700, they'll have a slight advantage over you if they have a full clip of ammo, down to them being able to fire quicker, and get you with those follow-up shots. Another thing that's really going to make the 338 Recon a tricky thing to contend with is the way that it shares its low bullet velocity with the R700. The 338 only fires at a speed of 480 meters per second, meaning that it's going to take a bit longer than you might be used to for your bullet to reach its intended target. Down to the gun having an increase in its travel time means that directly hitting a moving target can be a real pain in the arse, and it makes achieving those insta-kill headshots all the more challenging. Battles with stationary targets like other snipers should be a normal matter to deal with, but if an enemy is dashing off into the distance, you'll need to trace your sights a bit in front of them and allow for the travel time of your bullet, and this can sometimes make the gun hard to use, especially as the weapon fires quite slow too, and so a wounded enemy probably has more of a chance to escape your next killing bullet, and hide behind something to replenish their health. As for the recoil pattern, it matches the R700 LTR once again, and it has an upwards movement of 0.5 and a left and rightwards movement of 0, so it's only going to jump upwards as you fire. It's nothing too drastic, meaning if you've got a straight pull bolt equipped, you should be able to get your next shot in line without too much hassle, though perhaps not as easy as you would with the Scout Elite or Knockout. Now just like I say with the other sniper guides, most of the attachments are just down to your own personal preference, but if you prefer a closer range optic, then go for that. Though with the gun being better suited for longer ranges, a 7x or 8x scope will probably be the more beneficial. A straight pull bolt will also let you stay scoped when loading your next shot, so this would also be one of my top choices as always. So overall, you might have noticed that I've been comparing the 338 Recon a hell of a lot with the R700 LTR in this video. That's because it's practically the same gun, apart from the 338 having a quicker reload and the R700 having a faster fire rate. I mean, the guns are even the same bloody price for God's sake. And with that, the 338 Recon shares most of its positives and negative traits with the R700. It can deliver a high amount of damage and has the capabilities of killing with just one bullet to the body at closer ranges. It's also a bit quicker with its reloads, which could be helpful in some cases. But honestly, the 338 Recon's problems are probably greater than its perks, and most snipers will probably gravitate to guns that are easier to use for obvious reasons. Its low bullet velocity can make the weapon a tough one to use, and if you're not very good at leading your targets at longer ranges, and planning bullet drop and travel time, then the 338 Recon might not be your weapon of choice. Alongside its fire rate being slower, to cause even more issues, the 338 Recon isn't exactly a brilliant weapon, and when it matches up against other bolt action rifles and semi-autos like the M82, it seems a little bit underpowered and difficult to use. Though I guess if you want a challenge, and you like the look and the feel of the gun, then it might be worth investing in. The 338 Recon is still a powerful gun in the right hands, but it's nothing all that special, and you'll probably be best just sticking with the R700 LTR with that quicker rate of fire, and save your cash for something else. Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you for this one, so I hope you found the video useful, and if you did, give that like button a click on your way out. Subscribe for a bunch of other guides, reviews and gaming content, and I'll be seeing you in that next one.
Got that one.